As you can see on the screen, I have this repository, recompalker.github.io. This repository has a bunch of files, and these files are running this website for free. So GitHub provides you a way to publish or host your static website using GitHub Pages. As you can see, this code is running on this website for free. And I also have Blazor application which is running under this main website. So it's hosted under the subdomain of GitHub, subdomain of recompalker.github.io, which is this. As you can see, the repository is a portfolio, okay, and which is hosted under my main URL, this recompalker.github.io. So I'm going to click here, and it's going to take me to this Blazor application which is hosted on GitHub Pages. I have a couple of small sample games running here. The tic-tac-toe game against the AI. I have the snake game that I designed. So you can also design your own Blazor application, and you can host it for free using GitHub Pages. Let's see how to do that from the basics, from creating the application, for building your application, for publishing your application, then finally hosting your application on GitHub Pages. It is it is really straightforward process, to be honest. All right. So to begin with, we need to create one Blazor application. So I'm using Visual Studio 2022. I'm going to say new. I'm going to select the Blazor WebAssembly app, and I'm going to keep the configuration to default, not to make too complicated. And this is, let's call it test app. And the test app, I have a couple of test apps here. Let me see where can I save it. Since it's going to be part of GitHub. All right. So create a new folder like this, and store your files there. Okay. Now, so basically in this tutorial, we are not going to cover what to code and what not. The goal of the tutorial is just to see how to publish a website. Okay. So we are going to publish whatever comes in the box with this test app. So I'm going to click run and see what it shows on the browser. It will show that counter default application, I believe. So, all right. So we have this welcome to your new app, hello world app. You can click on counter, it will increase the counter, and some weather forecast, static data. All right, let's publish this application from localhost to to GitHub Pages. How to do that? Very straightforward actually. So I'm going to close this for now. I'm going to build the application. Once the application has been built, all you have to do is right click, select publish to folder. So what this does, it publish the application in your local machine. Yes, so I'm going to select the same path that I had here. You can select actually any path, doesn't really matter where you are keeping your local files. I'm going to click new folder and say published test app and say create. Open and click on publish. It's going to take, I guess, 15 to 20 seconds, depends on how complex your application is. And then it's going to create some files that you can directly publish in your website. All right, so it has done publishing my application. I'm going to see what I got. This is the folder. As you can see, it created two files. I mean, one file and one folder called www root folder. This is the folder we are interested in. I'm going to click here. These are the files we are going to check in your GitHub repository for application to be published. All right, so how to do that? So in order to publish on a GitHub, you need to have the repository, right? So go to your GitHub, then click on, let me take my screen recording on the left hand side. All right, click on new repository. Give it a name. Let's give the name test app. Name is available. Keep it public because this application is going to be hosted publicly. So you have to keep it public. Readme and everything, you need it based on your own requirements. I'm going to keep it everything to the default to keep it simple as possible. All right. So repository has been created. Okay. Now we need to push those files that we just saw in this repository. So I have GitHub desktop application created here. I'm just going to use it for simplicity purposes. Again, I'm going to say clone repository. So here we are going to clone the repository that we just created. As you can see, I have this test app. So let me create a new folder to GitHub test repo. Okay, and I'm going to say select and say clone. The moment you say clone, it takes everything from the GitHub branch and take all of that files and make it available in your local machine. Let's see if I have them or not. So this is the path I gave. Personal website, I believe. All right. There you go. As you can see, the test tab is here. Now what do we need? We need to push some files in this. So just to confirm, let me show you that it has nothing right now. Okay, and we are going to begin by copying these files that we just published using Visual Studio and paste it in here. All right, very simple, right? So once you are done that, now we need to push all these files into repo. So here, select the test app, give it a refresh. Let me see. I'm not seeing any files, so something might be blocking this. Let me see what's happening in here. It cannot publish unborn head. Interesting. Let me see what has happened here. So let me cut this file from here and inside of paste it inside there. And now there you go. So my bad. It's supposed to be inside the test app folder, not on the outside, of course. All right. So now once you have the files, okay, you have to publish all of these files into your repository. So all you have to do, just say publish website and say commit to main and push to branch. It's going to take some time. Very nice. Okay, now we are going to go to our repository. I'm going to give it a refresh and you will see the files that we just created has been published. Now from here, all you have to do, a couple of changes to make your website available to everyone. So first you go to your index.html. Okay, then you're going to change the base address. Okay, since I'm going to change the base address because I'm hosting this under my subdomain, but you need to change the base address to your repository name or whatever the name you want your website to be. So I'm going to say test app. Okay, I'm going to say commit changes, and after a minute the base address will change to, let me just refresh this one more time, test tab. There you go. Okay, now that we have base address set, we need another file to be added to the repository because that file overrides your Blazor's redirecting mechanism. All right, so just add a file, create a new file here. You don't need any content in the file, but say no Jekyll. Let me see what it calls exactly. It's no Jekyll for sure, but let me just get the right name. Why am I not saying no Jekyll file anywhere here? Okay, give me a minute. Portfolio. There you go. It's JEKYLL. So yeah. All right, and then just say commit changes. Yes, commit changes. And there you go. So right now, this file is not going to override the redirecting of your Blazor GitHub pages, but it's going to give it to Blazor app itself. So far we have just created this dummy application and we are publishing this application on GitHub. So we have the repository, we have files here. Now we need to host this. How to host this? All you have to do is to go to settings, then go to pages here, and here If it is your new fresh website, then you have to create that repository name recompilker.github.io. I mean, recompilker is my name. You have to select your own name, whatever your username is, and then host the file in that repository. Since I'm publishing this under the subdomain, all I'm going to do, I'm going to just select the deploy from the branch. From here, I'm going to select main branch because my main branch is that repository. Then select the root and say save. Now we're going to wait here for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to see how that works. Okay, if the website has been published under my uh, recompilker.github.io /test app URL. All right, so we're going to give it a minute for here. Till then, I'll show you how you can publish in your main repo. Okay, so let me go to GitHub again. Okay, let's say you are not publishing your website under subdomain. You are publishing in your main domain, like this. I have your recompilker.github.io. So what you're gonna do, rather than creating a new repository with different kind of name, you're gonna create the repository with this name, and rest everything is same. You're just going to push the files into this website, and you're gonna change the index.html base URL to be the name of this repository name, and that's all. That's the only difference between hosting in subdomain and hosting under actual domain, the main domain. Okay, so let's go back to the page and give it a refresh to see if GitHub has. All right, see, it has generated the URL that where your website or application has been hosted. Let's test this out, and there you go. Your application is ready. It's that simple, right? So that's how you can do it, folks. It's very straightforward. There is a redirecting issue. I will cover that in the next video. You just have to write one simple JavaScript, but it's very straightforward. The application, all you have to do, in order to see your application, just take the files and then push it to the GitHub, and it will start working. It's that straightforward. So let's just see if one more time, if I'm gonna go to test tab, and there you go. Voila, simple, yeah. All right, so then I'll see you in the next next video, where I will show you why this redirecting issue happens. But for first video, this is just a simple, straightforward. Create the application, publish the application, push the files into the repository that you just created, and go to the pages and select the main repo and click on publish your website. That's all. That's it, straightforward, nothing else. So settings, pages, and here just select the branch, and after 2 minutes just refresh, and your URL is ready for world to see. All right, thank you so much for joining in. I will see you in next video if I create one.